Mastro. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Vastu Creations. Today we're going to look at the amazing chart of Leonardo da Vinci, the painter who painted the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. He was an engineer, an architect, a philosopher, a scientist, a geologist, an inventor, really truly a Renaissance man. If you look to the eastern horizon when he was born, you would see the constellation associated with Scorpio rising at 20 degrees. That becomes the most effective point of every house. Any planets that are within 5 degrees, which are most of his planets, have a lot of impact in his chart. So first we're going to look and see the functional nature of the planets and how they operate. And then we'll look at the timing of events and what we can do to remedy the chart. So let's look at first the Multicona signs and where they fall, because they give an indication of what he came here to learn about in this lifetime. So Multicona signs are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. So many planets rule 2, for example, rule 2 signs, but they're more closely connected to one sign, which becomes the Multicona sign. For example, Libra, Venus rules Libra and Taurus, but Venus is all about relationships, and so is Libra, not so much Taurus. So Libra becomes the Multicona sign. So let's see where these Multicona signs fall. And any Multicona signs that fall in the 6th, the 8th, the 12th houses, the Dustana or challenging houses, can cause harm in the chart. They're said to be functional malefic. So we have the first sign of Aries ruled by Mars in the 6th house. So it is functional malefic, can cause harm, but it's fairly benign in the natal chart. But from the transit chart, whenever it comes within 5 degrees through aspect or conjunction, can afflict another planet and cause some temporary issues. Then we have the 7th sign of Libra, ruled by Venus in the 12th house. It is also functional malefic, again, not causing much issues in the natal chart, but can cause issues in transits. Then we have Rahu and Ketu, which are always malefic for every chart. They are not benign in this case. They are close to the most effective point, so they are afflicting 6 out of his 12 houses: the 2nd house, the 4th house, the 6th house, the 8th house, 10th, and 12th houses. So let's look and see where these Multicona signs fall. So we have that first sign of Aries ruled by Mars. He's learning about his enemies, his learning how to be competitive, learning how to be patient, because it can deny and create some debts and health issues. He's learning about, okay, we have Cancer ruled by Moon, 4th sign in the 9th house, learning about religion and also learning about how to gain good fortune in his life. We have Leo ruled by Sun in the career house, learning how to perfect his career. Then we have Virgo ruled by Mercury in the house of income, learning about how to create income, how to fulfill your desires, how to connect with other people and be persuasive, to get his patrons to support him. Then we have Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter in the 2nd house of wealth and fame and continuation of the family. Then we have Aquarius ruled by Saturn in the 4th house of happiness, property, vehicles, home life. And then we have, that's it. So those are the main things he's learning about in this lifetime. So let's look at individually how the planets are operating. We have Sun. It's exalted but weak, and it is close to the most effective point. It is ruling the house of career, so it gives career through organizational and leadership skills, and it connects with, there can be some debts and some health issues. Sun is connected to heart. He had some strokes, and some competitive nature against his rivals. Then we have Moon, Moon is ruling the house of good fortune and morals, and it is weak and connected to conjunct Jupiter, also about beliefs and morals in the fourth house. So it says he can have good fortune through Moon, which is intuition and compassion and happiness, and also creating these vehicles and designing these architecture of these buildings. Then we have Mars. Mars is again ruling this house of enemies. So competitive nature through creating fine arts, passion for and courage to overcome his disadvantaged situation, not having parents and not having good support in childhood. So then we have Mercury. Mercury is income, ruling the house of income through creativity, fifth house, creative, and the strong intellect. Then we have Jupiter ruling this house of fame and continuation of the marital bond and wealth. So wealth through publishing, writing, but it's weak. So there is some, the family is never really had a family to begin with, and because of his sexual preferences, never had a marriage or children. All of these things indicate children and marriage, and there was some issues with his reputation. Then we have Venus. Venus rules this 12th house, losses, expenses, gave him a solitude so that he could go by himself and create these amazing works of art. And it's placed now this is the house of foreign lands. So he did move to foreign land and got comforts living abroad, Venus being in that seventh house. And his partnerships were through his patrons who supported his works. Then we have Saturn ruling this house of happiness, home life, vehicles, property. So Saturn it gives happiness through serving others. Saturn is serving others and connecting with others and service, basically. Then we have, and also he had ADHD because Mercury's weak, and a lot of artists and geniuses, were bipolar, had some mental issues, but it caused him to delay some projects. Like he would start things and not complete them. And, this moon also gave some weak morality, some non traditional religious beliefs. In fact, he put heretical symbols in some of his paintings and didn't complete them for fear that if they were discovered, he would be imprisoned. Now, he did get arrested. Venus, this is the house of imprisonment. He did get arrested for sodomy at some point and went to prison. And so those are those things. Now, Rahu and Ketu, again, we said they're afflicting 6 out of his 12 houses. They're always balancing spiritual and material. Ketu's giving insights into the deeper meanings of life, or of expressing his subconscious nature, spiritual nature. Then we have Rahu giving strong desire to create name, fame for himself. So let's look at the timing of events. He was born during a Rahu Venus period. This is his root of his tree of life. So Venus is about creativity, fine arts. Then we have joined the Painters Guild in 1472 during a Jupiter Rahu period, again giving that desire for fame, and Jupiter giving, so again, that fame. getting some notoriety. Then we have in 76, he was arrested for sodomy during a K2 period, death-like experiences, imprisonment. And then we have in 82, he had to move to France, and the Duke there was very attracted to his writings on war machinery, thought he could utilize Davinci to support him and to have victory over enemies in the military way. That's during a Saturn Sun period. So Saturn creating these war machines, and let's see here, Sun, giving that organizational abilities for his career to take off. 1503 to 1507, most creative period. He painted the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. During the Mercury-Jupiter period, Mercury very creative, Jupiter great fame and recognition. Died in 1519, and that was during a Venus-Sun period. Venus, end of life, end of his longevity. Sun, again, heart issues, strokes, paralyzed part of his body. He had some strokes even before he died. If we looked at the transit chart at that time, the inner circle is where the planets were when he was born, and the outer circles where the planets were when he died. You would see that Sun, which is heart and vitality, going through the house of illness at the most effective, close to the most effective point, and then you see Mars afflicting Moon. So health and inflammation afflicting Moon is also represents heart, so causing the strokes there. So these are the main points of the chart. Now the remedies. You see a lot of successful people already doing the remedies. So you need to transform the malefics, not strengthen them. So Rahu, helping those who cannot help themselves. Ketu, helping spiritual organizations. Mars, helping men that are like brothers. Venus, helping women. All of these things he was already doing. As far as strengthening his benefic planets, so you would want to either wear a yellow sapphire, a pearl, a green emerald, or ruby, and a blue sapphire, or wear a protective shield called a locket, a kavash, that contains the Devata yantras for those planets. So you can see this transformation Vedic astrology very accurate, even many years ago, to see this person's chart, how amazing they were. If you'd like to get a reading, go to vastucreations.com with an S, and under services you will see different types of readings, a yearly reading, a 3-year, etc. It's really important. Your chart is a roadmap for your life. You know your chart, you can transform your chart. You know what the strengths and weaknesses are, and certain periods that you're going to be going through, planetary periods. So it gives you that oversight to see, to navigate through life, and it's a roadmap to your happiness, to your enlightenment, to your good health and success in life. So we really encourage you to know your chart and get a reading. And then also, if you'd like to help other people learn how to do Vedic astrology as a profession, get certified, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com. We have a level 1 and level 2. Thank you guys so much for listening.